Evangelism plays a key role in bringing in souls for any kind of faith-based organization, such as churches and temples. The word evangelism comes from the Greek word which means good news, and so evangelism can be defined as spreading the good news about one's faith to the rest of the world. This is important because every member of these types of organizations wants to know that they're pleasing the one they worship by bringing other people into the proverbial flock. Here are a couple points as to why evangelism is so important to churchgoers, temple worshipers, and members of all types of faith-based organizations across the world. Churchgoers believe that just as God sent His Son to save the people back then, He formed the church to continue the work of saving souls in the form of evangelism. But evangelism doesn't work by itself. It goes hand in hand with social justice and compassionate service. So one's method of evangelism may be different from another. Individuals and faith-based organizations are called to be the messengers of the life-saving news to all unbelievers. The mission of evangelism doesn't only focus on the written word of an organization's book, but more so on the lives of the believers in the organization. In some instances, the way believers live their lives is the first method of evangelism that they unknowingly perform. This also sets the stage for impressing the holy word unto unbelievers who will be more receptive of the mission if they believe you are truly converted just by your lifestyle. Just by practicing what they preach, everyone in an organization can be an effective evangelist. Every believer of every faith agrees that everybody across the world has the right to hear about their religion so as to make the right choice when it comes to worshiping a higher being. Thus, each member of every organization is responsible to do their part, no matter how small it is. The point here being that you don't have to be a missionary evangelist who goes around the world with the news of your belief. You don't have to be a preacher or hold any kind of office in your church or temple. You can start in your circle of friends, family, and colleagues, and then you can widen your scope. It is true that all do not have the same calling, but you can still add a little evangelism to whatever your calling is. This is something that is encouraged by all religions all over the world, as each shares the same goals when it comes to evangelism. Evangelism is communicating the attributes and characteristics of a loving Creator who wants everyone, everywhere, no matter their creed, to learn about. Every opportunity that you take to express your faith is an act of evangelism and a way of drawing someone closer to your faith. The work done by followers is just part of the effort, as the Supreme Being takes over the other part to help the receiver to process the information and understand the implication it will have on their life. It is important in evangelism to understand that though you may do the groundwork, the credit must go to the Most High. Evangelism should not give ultimatums. Every faith has the understanding that everyone is blessed with the freedom of choice, and evangelism is left up to that freedom whether they accept or not. It is not for humans to judge, and as such, evangelism should never give an ultimatum of scaring people into joining a certain faith. You can thus think of evangelism as an invitation to the faith instead. After you send out this invitation, then the Supreme Being works on the person's heart, and their response to Him will be the determining factor of what will happen. For someone who's not receptive, it is okay to resend the invitation in subtle and inviting ways. Even members of a faith need constant evangelism to keep their faith strong and affirmed, and this is what is done when they attend gatherings of a worshiping nature. If this were not the case, there wouldn't be a need for churches, mosques, and temples, and we could all serve our God in our homes. But instead, we make it at least once per week to a building where we will be evangelized to, so as to keep our faith strong. Through successful evangelism, an organization can fund larger methods of evangelism that will help them to reach people in farther parts of the world. How so? With the collection of tithes and offerings in faith-based organizations. These are used in many cases to fund mission projects to parts of the world that have never heard about a particular faith. Having a larger crowd of followers will mean more financial support, and thus an organization can widen their evangelical scope to outside their country. So it would start with an individual in a community until it spread to another community, to another city, to another state. This increase in numbers makes it possible for there to be an increase in the outreach of the evangelists to places they wouldn't be able to reach before. So you see that evangelism is indeed important to every organization that believes in some supreme being. Each faith has a calling or responsibility to save souls by spreading the good news about their faith, and why it is important for people to have this in their lives. It is through evangelism that the numbers increase and more people are saved into their cause. This is what they were ultimately put on the earth to do, to bring more followers to their God. And this is the need that evangelism fills, sending people an invite to the organization that will complete their lives by giving them a chance at eternal salvation from damnation. With increase in technology, there are newer ways and new aids to getting the message that evangelism teaches across the world. One such new method is text advertising. This method has taken the world of business by storm, but is an ideal tool for evangelism as well. This will help any faith-based organization to be able to reach their target in less time and with less money than it would take to use other means. Not only is it cost-effective, but it has a higher response rate than any other advertising method that is currently being used. Text advertising with the iZig platform can do just that for your church or temple. You can easily set up your keywords and can start using the service the first day within 5 minutes. You can use this for evangelism on a small or large scale, with people who are already members of your organization to those who have never heard its name before. That means you can keep your regular flock together while bringing in new followers at the same time using the same medium. More than half the world's populations are cell phone users, and this is why this is a great medium for evangelism. Just think, you can reach half of the world with just this medium alone. And with 1.2 billion phones being sold every year, this number is set to increase. There are a number of ways these texts can help to enrich people's lives and help them to make the right decision when it comes to their faith. The text can simply advertise something that will bring more meaning to their lives, such as a downloadable Bible. This gives people the opportunity to read it while riding the bus or subway, or while waiting in line at the grocery store, bank, or wherever they go. They will even have the opportunity to read a short verse for encouragement right at their desk in the office. Evangelism can be done with this application by mini devotionals, mini sermons, and just simple reminders of God's love for His people and the importance of worshiping Him. You can simply get people to opt in by advertising the short code on your church billboard or even on clothing. If members are helping out at a soup kitchen or doing some type of outreach work, they can wear shirts with the code as well as the number to text to so they can get encouraging messages to help improve their spiritual lives. You can make these shirts a form of uniform for people conducting church business. With iZig, it's all made simple and easy with one of the most simple and easy to remember short codes, 90210. We also give you the option of choosing your keywords so they'll be as easy as you want them to be. There are 3 plans that are all affordable, and if you're not sure which one to get, one of our representatives will help you to make the best choice for your organization.